Oh, war of words everywhere in auto racing. Here's the background story. This involves Michael Andretti, a legendary IndyCar driver, great heritage with his father. Michael runs the Andretti team. They've been very successful in IndyCar. Mario is kind of like the father figure of the operation. Michael Andretti filed a $250 million application to build an American team to go over there, go to Formula One.
Mm.
It's been 6 months. They filed the application. FIA, which is the governing body that controls F1, Liberty, which owns it. Liberty is a broadcast sports company here in the States. They rejected the application and they sent back just a short form letter. Thank you for your application. We are returning the money. And they insulted him. They rejected the application from Andretti Cadillac and sent the $250 million back. Quote, "We do not believe Andretti Cadillac is up to our standards. Therefore, we are formally rejecting this." It was like a printed freaking letter, something get in the mail. It wasn't
Really?
Yeah.
Like a form letter.
Exactly. There
Yeah.
we go. You've written a few of those in your life.
Right.
There was no meeting. There was no conversation with Michael Andretti. There was no interview with Michael Andretti. He was really insulted. This is Andretti. This is a legacy name of auto racing here in the States. And they, at the bottom of the form letter, they wrote in, "We do not believe the Andretti name carries the value any longer to our series."
What?
I read the form letter and I said, wait a minute. I look at Formula One and you have Team Red Bull. We've talked about that. Max Verstappen, who's won 18 of the last 19 races.
Amazing.
And F1 totally dominant.
Yeah.
You have that, and you got Team Mercedes, which had dominated for an extended period with Sir Lewis Hamilton, great British driver. That's it. The other 8 teams in F1 can't compete. And you're rejecting Michael Andretti because you don't think Andretti Cadillac can compete? What the hell have you got on your starting grid once you get beyond Team Red Bull and the situation involving Lewis Hamilton, who's leaving Mercedes to go to Ferrari? You got all the rest of the teams, they can't compete. They just don't know how to do the technology to compete against Team Red Bull. And you sit there and you insult the Andretti family.
Yeah, that's low.
And then Chip Ganassi, who's as good in IndyCar racing as obviously Michael Andretti is. He had a meltdown this week at the St. Petersburg Grand Prix. It's the first race of the season in Florida. And he said, F1 racing is unwatchable. Verstappen starts on the pole virtually every race. He or his teammate Sergio Perez, they win every race. He said nobody can compete with these guys. And by the way, there's a lot of dysfunction there. There's all these investigations about, have you violated the salary cap rule as it relates to expenditures, etc. And he says, you look at IndyCar, this is Chip Ganassi. He said, I can't watch F1 because it's unwatchable. It's not competitive. IndyCar had 7 different winners, 7 different drivers who won big races last year. NASCAR, anyone can win on any weekend with the good old boys.
Right.
And Chip Ganassi says, you're insulting Michael Andretti? Look what the hell's on your starting grid. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix this past weekend. Look who's in your starting grid. So it's an amazing story of arrogance. And the fact that F1 is now owned by Liberty Broadcasting, Liberty Sports. Why would they not admit Michael Andretti, challenge him and Cadillac to build the engines to compete in 2027, I think was supposed to be the starting. Why would Liberty not want another American entry? It's hard. I mean, Haas F1 is an American-based company out of Indiana and Carolinas that's been in F1 for 3 years and has just really scuffled and struggled. But this is Michael Andretti. I've gone too long on auto racing, but passion play. So anyhow, that's my checkered flag. How dare F1 insult the Andretti name?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And you would think that the Formula One organization would want more American participation.
Yeah, because I heard they're going to have 5 races on the F1 grid
Yeah.
within the next couple of years.
I mean, it's just like the next frontier for
Yes.
F1 in America and all the money and everything. But you said that Andretti gave that or ponied up $250 million and they rejected it and sent the money back.
In a form letter.
Yeah. Well, I know someone that could really use $250 million right now.
You want to stand in the line behind me?
Well, not you. I'm thinking of some guy that's campaigning for president.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, here we go. Sorry to bring that up. But, the Andretti name to me is like, a blue blood of basketball. It's a blue blood of auto racing.
Concur with you wholeheartedly. Mario was really good. He came from Italy. He did very well for a short period in F1 and came here, and look what he did here back in the day. And his son has followed that tradition. So, I mean, just why you're treating that name with that disrespect.
Yeah.
Freaking European people. It's just.
How about a relegation league, for F1? If there's 10, maybe have a junior circuit and let some of these guys move into the top 10?
Well, the other factor in the equation is the other 8 teams, aside from where they are with Team Red Bull and Mercedes, the other 8 teams don't want another team to come in and, quote, split the pie.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're all making phenomenal money, but the other teams have lower budgets because they don't have corporate sponsorships to the tune that Red Bull and Mercedes do, and they just have not been able to compete. And I like F1. But it is really bleeping unwatchable because it's Max Verstappen every Sunday. And what kind of fun is that?
Yeah, I mean, you get that pole position, you're in a great you're in a great situation to really stay at the lead the whole race.
Okay, on we go.